The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. We're going to start out the show like we usually do with the German Dax Index. We focused on this yesterday. As you recall, it was making a three-drive to a bottom pattern just as we were opening. You'll notice that it did stop right there. What's interesting about this pattern, if you want to defy human nature and do the work yourself, like Mr. Twentyman always reminds us to do, is if you will compare the CD leg into drive number 2 to the final drive, the third drive, you'll notice that each of those are down 19 hours. 19 bars, each one is 60 minutes. So it was perfect in time and in price. And now we've had a very nice rally up to the 78% level this morning. Hasn't taken it out yet, but you know, we certainly could. We had that big wide opening range, as you can see, and that's certainly possible that we could do that. Now, if we take a look at the hold on one second, and we'll put up this one right here. If we'll, that should have posted. Did the chart not post for the DAX? I'm going to do the FTSE now. Don't tell me I'm having problems again. Boy, I had terrible problems yesterday, and gee, I hope it's not happening. But anyway, there's the you'll notice here with the 4-hour chart on the FTSE is a lot more bearish. Okay. All right, yeah, the DAX and the FTSE, both of those, very good. Okay, we both. Oh, the reason why I'm showing these is these markets have a lot of characteristics that one rallies, the others rally, and you know, and so yesterday it was down, and like today the FTSE was down, even though our market is up. The Dow's up pretty close to 100 points. So you know, the Dow is. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. We'll keep an eye on this. One thing I wanted to mention, we had the webinar yesterday on Bitcoin with John Jameson, and John's real passion and love is he deals in Renaissance art, not the real expensive. Well, they're all expensive, but these are, you know, these beautiful oil paintings from the 15th century, 16th century, and we were chatting about Da Vinci's painting of Christ coming into the auction yesterday at $100 million. And he laughed, and I said, "Why are you laughing?" And he said, "That thing will probably start at 300 million." And he said, "I imagine it'll be sold for more than $300 million." And I said, "You're joking?" And he said, "No." He said, "You know, it's just probably one of these last paintings." And you know, he's a very popular painter. When I had our honeymoon 10 years ago, Sarah and I and a couple other traders, we all went to Italy for a couple of weeks, and we stayed in Florence. And we took a car to Vinci, Italy, where Da Vinci was born. Vinci means Leonardo da Vinci, means Leonardo of Vinci. It's up in the mountains, about 3 hours north of Florence, and it's really hard to get to. It's a very, very small village. It's basically all little shops selling knickknacks from Leonardo da Vinci, and you can see his home. It was a big vineyard and agricultural area. His father was an accountant, and Leonardo was he was the child of one of the ladies in the field, and as soon as he was about 3 years old, they realized he was a savant, and they sent him to study with Michelangelo down in Florence. And he did that for about, I think 12 years or so, something like that. And then, of course, he went out on his own. I don't know if you know this or not, but he passed away in Spain. I think he was about 86 years old, as I recall. And then I think it was about 25 years ago, the Italian government finally got his body back. And I believe he's buried somewhere north of Florence, but I'm not actually sure. It's probably on Google somewhere, but I'm not actually sure of that. But Da Vinci was one of the smartest people in the world. And if you remember when Albert Einstein, they asked him who were the smartest people, you know, ever to walk the planet, and he said there was, of course, Pythagoras, Galileo, Isaac Newton, and Da Vinci, and of course myself. But anyway, he was a smart dude. There's no question about it. But he is a very, very inspirational, if not to say the least. I can imagine what he was going through his mind if he would have realized that his paintings were now worth $400 million. If you read any of his history of stuff, Da Vinci, he was ambidextrous. He could write with his left hand and his right hand equally, and he could also write backwards. And that's what he did, because he was a tad paranoid, and whenever he was doing anything, he would write backwards, and the only way you could read it is if you turned it around into a mirror. And that's where the Codex books comes from. Those were his works, and it was called Codex because of the fact that he tried to do it in a very simple code. But anyway, that's neither here nor there, but a lot of fun. Anyway, if you ever get a chance to see any of Da Vinci's works at some of the museums, the Da Vinci, the Codex book goes around the world about every 6 months, and then it resides in Italy for the rest of the 6 months. But you should really see it. He was really smart. He had some ideas that none of them really have come up with, since that time. Okay. And by the way, if you do want to see the Mona Lisa, that's also, I believe the Mona Lisa is in the Louvre. But if you want to see the Last Supper by Da Vinci, that is in Turin. No, it's Venice. I think it's in Venice or Turin, the Last Supper, and you have to have a 6-month appointment. It's in Milan. Thank you very much, Doc. It's in Milan, and you have to have a 6 months appointment. And not only that, but you can only stay in front of the painting for 5 minutes and no pictures. So it's really something. Anyway, okay, let's move on here. I know why you know that's in Milan. You old Ferrari guys always have those real fancy cars. All right, let's move on here to a couple of these markets. Folks, there's a really good chance here, and I'm saying here chance with a little bit of trepidation, because we've got a chance here in gold to have a pretty significant rally. And let me give you my 2 cents worth here. There's a possibility that euro made a major bottom here at this 1550 level, because we come off here so much. But if we take a look at the gold bear index, gold bull bear index, you'll see that it's still rather bullish. We've had higher bottoms through here, and if you look at the gold chart, it's still holding up relatively well. So that's a real interesting one, to watch also. I think it's got a really good chance of doing something really good. But here's the one that really has my interest, and that is the XAU. Let me just get this up here. So, oops, I did the wrong thing right here. Hold on, let me hit the right button, and then we'll get this up in the room so you folks can see it. Let's take a look here at the XAU. Look at this XAU. We just completed a beautiful ABCD pattern down at the 78% level, but look at the little red box in there. Use your imagination here a little bit, and you can see the really nice 3-drive pattern that completed yesterday. That could be very, very important, folks. Look at the 3-drive pattern that completed way back in October or December of last year. That was a large one, of course, but look at this small one that occurred right at the 78% level, and we're still in an uptrend since December of 16. We'll take a little break here. We'll be right back. Norm Winski at the half hour, boys and girls. Stay tuned. 877-927-6648.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profile So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we're going to talk a little bit about the U.S. stock market because we're completing some Gartley patterns here in the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, and also in the E-mini Dow Jones, E-mini Dow Jones, NASDAQ, and the S&P 500. I posted the one for the NASDAQ. They all look the same pretty much, but you'll notice in the NASDAQ that we do have these lower tops. That's a 135 pattern. It's also a Gartley sell pattern. Whether that's going to work or not, I don't know, but that's the kind of pattern that we look for. So we've got to pay a little bit of attention. But we're having some very bullish news evidently coming out about the tax thing that's coming out. Plus Walmart came out with blockbuster earnings. They were 3 cents a share better. And so it appears that Walmart will not go into Chapter 11, much to the chagrin of Jeff Bezos. But that's neither here nor there. All right, let's take a look here at a potential failure in something, folks. This is the Apple chart that we've been watching. If you'll look at those little red boxes, starting back in September, I just did 10 weeks there just to show you. If you'll know the red box, it's where the opening price is. In other words, you'll notice that it opens near the low of the day, but by the low of the day, it's got to be in the lower or higher 15%. It doesn't have to be the exact low. Sometimes it is, or high, but it's got to be within 15% of that price. And if you'll notice this over the past 10 weeks, that it's a phenomenal thing to see happening. Now, what we were watching yesterday with this, you'll notice that the market did open near the high of the day, and then it closed lower at 69.41. However, now it's trading back into the gap area. So what it's going to do is it's going to make this island reversal pattern sink. Because if it was a good island revert, maybe something, it's got to hit, if Apple doesn't get above 71.10, that's the number that we're looking at. If it doesn't get above 171.10, then the island would still be valid. But frankly, I think I saw it just a little while ago at 170.68 or something like that. So it's most probably going to do that. But that's what you have to look for, because if you're waiting for that pattern to occur, you really want to see that. Now, if you look at this chart closely, back between the 20th of October and the 30th of October, you notice we had that 5 days in there, and then of course the earnings came out, and away it went to the upside. You notice it opened, gapped up, opened right near the low of the day, and away it went. The next day, it opened near the low of the day, and away it went. The next day, nothing happened. The next day, it opened at the high of the day, closed in mid-range. The next day, it closed near the high of the day, and opened near the high of the day, and closed near the high of the day. So you want to watch that, because the rule of thumb, and this is what my mentor John Hill taught me, is that if you're above the opening price for a trade, you have the odds in your favor about 70%. If you're long, and if you're short something and it's down, the odds of you losing are better than 70%. In other words, if you're in a trade and you want to know whether you should be in it or not, just look at the opening price. If you're above the open and you're long, you're probably correct. And if you're below the opening and you're short, you're probably correct. If not, you might have a problem, because the odds are heavily favored against you. So those are just statistics. Remember, it doesn't work all the time, but it does work some of the time, and those are the times that we really want to really pay attention to, because those are the ones that you got to get you have to get a good edge as you possibly can, as we look at some of these things that we're watching here. Now, the other one is the Treasury bond market that we've been watching. As you recall, we've been waiting for this market to rally up, and we got up to the 78% level twice. We made a higher high than yesterday by one tick in the overnight market, and then we sold off again. So this level of 154.09, 154.10 is a very, very important level in the Treasury bonds, to pay attention to, because this is really nothing more than a rally in a bear market, folks. That's really all it is. Right now, we're trading at 153.22. Last night's high came right near the close of the regular session at 154.10, and then we backed off almost another handle. So it's still telling you that it has a bias, potentially, to the downside. So that's what we're looking at. We're going to open quite strongly today in the market. It looks like the Dow's going to be up 100 on a gap. The S&P is going to gap up about 10, and the NASDAQ is going to gap up plus 30. But it's going to go right into those zones that we're looking at. Whether they're going to continue from that level or not, we'll have to let us wait and see. This gold market is the one that gold and bonds have my interest, and also the euro, because the euro, the dollar index went right down to where we thought it was going to go. If you remember, we thought it could back down to this 93.60 level, and I think we went about 5 pips below that yesterday, and it's really held up, relatively well. And someone's asking the question to watch the CME futures contract for the euro. I really don't do that, because the reason is the data, the amount of trading that goes on there as opposed to the regular forex market is, it's like 1% or possibly less. We don't really know, because the foreign exchange markets are so darn big and they don't report volume, whereas the Merc does. The charts will look very, very similar. I can promise you that, because that's how they hedge. If it gets out of the line, they'll step in and make up the difference, but it doesn't get out of line very often, because those people are watching that. So anyway, the yen, yes, we'll take a look at the yen. We still think we've got a chance on this yen to come down to this level. Let's just get it right up here so we can take a look at it. This is one of the things that we're doing in the newsletter this past week. We alerted you to the fact that we'd hit that 61% retracement 4 times in the last 6 months and still not being able to get above it. That would lead to the fact that we should get down into this 112 level, and we've broken below 113, so we are in the 112 range. We need a little bit more to go to get the yen down to about 112 even, and then you'll have a better chance of potential long trade, which that would be a very bullish pattern, because you're just pulling back to a 382 pattern. But there's a lot of resistance in that euro up at that 114 and change. If we ever get above that, look out. That thing could really go if we shatter that. That would really be a very, very bullish sign if that were to happen. So that's just one of the ones that we're looking at. Yes, there is a nice 3-drive pattern in the Dow E-mini. I think we've already put that up here. I think let's just get it up here. It's actually, we're a little tiny bit higher. I don't have that because I just did this a few minutes ago. We're up about another 20 points in the Dow, but you'll be able to see this 3-drive that Marshall is pointing out to us. We're right about, you can see it pretty easily. We took out those highs at 23.34. We're now at 23.55. And so it is completing at that point. The NASDAQ has pretty much hit it spot on as we come into the opening price. So it'll be an interesting open, as we always know. What's going to happen. We hit 2354 in the Dow E-mini so far, but 1 point in the Dow. I mean, you talk about separating fly poop from pepper. That would be the one, because that thing jumps around, quite a bit. So we'll see it. Well, folks, what really I've been doing, one of the reasons I'm a technician is this fundamental stuff drives me crazy. When I check the news, the first thing they start to do is to starting harping about the taxes. What I don't understand, and if someone could explain to me, why isn't there one person on the Democratic side that doesn't like the taxes? I mean, are you kidding me? There's 48 of those guys. Isn't one of them going to say, yeah, maybe good tax cuts would help? I don't know. Yeah, what do I know? All right, I'm off my soapbox. Stay tuned for the master. Orm Winsky of Astro Trends coming up.
Larry Pesavento and John Jameson are teaming up for a live hour-long webinar Wednesday, November 15th at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, titled The Hidden Secrets Behind Trading and Investing in Cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies are some of the most volatile trading markets in the world right now, and this is a webinar that you will not want to miss. In this live 60-minute webinar, John and Larry will discuss a variety of topics, including where cryptocurrencies trade and how to get started, how to recognize supply and demand in cryptocurrencies, and the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum, and why knowing this one piece of information puts you in the top 1% of cryptocurrency traders, as well as many more topics. Visit the front page of TFNN.com for all the information and to sign up today for Fibonacci 24/7, and we'll see you Wednesday, November 15th for the hidden secrets behind trading and investing in cryptocurrencies. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I just got word that Norm's not going to be able to be with us today. I wonder what happened. Oh, wait, Norm, are you there?
Yes, sir, Larry.
That was my idea of being tiny bit funny. Hey, how are you doing, my friend?
Very good. Thanks for having me on your show.
It's our pleasure. We got lots of requests, so you're in charge. Go right ahead. Start out.
Very good. Well, I thought I'd start out. I was on your show on the 3rd of November, just ahead of the full moon. What a coincidence. And so let's review what I told the folks, see if they were following along, if they could make any money. And hold on. Oh my God. Hold on, I'm having some difficulties here now.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so anyway, so full moon, let's go look at some charts. So there we go. There's your cattle chart. That green arrow is the 6th. The full moon was on Saturday, the 4th. And yep, and the 4th. And there's your green arrow. And you didn't get the exact top. The exact top occurred on November November the 2 days before. You missed it by 20 points. Okay, which in real money, you know, Larry, is what, about $80, right?
Yep, that's pretty much spot on, my friend.
Alrighty, there's your cotton. The cotton was going sideways. We invoked Newton's law, which is very important on this. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. And so you want, if the market's just going sideways on a narrow range, best not to do the trade, you know? So
That's for sure.
You're going to have a mirror image. Or if it's going sideways before, probably going sideways after our key date. Here's your wheat. Actually, look at that thing. You go, how could you make any money in that narrow range in wheat? Well, believe it or not, it did rally a little bit into the full moon. And then you made a little top there, and you could have probably picked off 5 or 10 cents, you know? All right, here's your gold. You were just talking about gold a few minutes ago, and gold is kind of flatlining here up as at least as of last night, I think, right?
Yes. It's been in about a $3 range. Yeah, it's very quiet.
Yep. By the way, Larry, I know you like gold. It's not on my main list for this month because it's kind of sleeping, astrologically speaking. But if you want gold to go up, the best thing it could do is go down here we'll be getting to that in a minute. But, you know, we have Saturday, we have the new moon. So if you want things to have a big trend, the best thing is for them to do the opposite into the moon. All right, we're going to move ahead now. We got a couple of points here. We're on the U.S. chart that implies U.S. financials. And let's go look at that now. Here's your December T-bonds. And guess what? Right there on about the 6th, 7th was a nice little top. We missed it by about maybe a day. There's between that day, the 7th and the 8th, was I think 2 ticks. And we were on the day before that about a half a handle, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's your U.S. dollar. That was spot on right there. Right there near that top. Your Apple, by the way, I almost never look at stocks unless I'm looking at watching your show. And the Apple, I think, topped out right about the 6th also. Here's your stock market. Now, this is pretty neat. We have on the stock market here, I'm on page 3. Anybody following along? So I had what I call market math, kind of a GAN thing, where you look at different time cycles and different numbers, harmonics in the market, and I stumbled on that the big bull market from August 9th, 82 to the internet bubble top on the S&P topped on March 24th. If you take that number of days, 6,437, and double it, double that span, you come out to guess when? November the 7th. So far, the high of the month for the stock market, November 7th. It was right on. Okay.
Yep.
That's pretty exciting. So anyway, there we go. There's your and also I have these different markings on here for these different time series. I have an astrological time series for the Dow Jones. I have a Fibonacci time cycle series and astrological time series. I mark those all on the chart there with these different markings. If it's green, it's a potentially good date and where you could have made some money. If it's red, it's probably not a good date. I hit 7 out of 10 there. So that's pretty good.
Well, 70% is pretty good in any business.
There you go. Imagine if you're a baseball fan, Larry. Imagine if you could bat 70%, you'd be a zillionaire, right?
Oh, amen.
Anyway, and then we also have, we had a big planetary event on the weekend of the 10th. That's a big long-term cycle with Saturn making a 120-degree angle to Uranus. That's a 1/3 harmonic of the 46 to 47-year cycle of Saturn and Uranus. And so we have to go look at Saturn is coffee, Uranus is copper. So we'll go look at those markets real quick. There you go, coffee. We're kind of near a little tiny top there on the coffee with the green arrow. and there's the green arrow there for the copper. Both were potential winners, All right, there we go. Moving on ahead, let's talk about what's coming up here in the future. So back in August, we had the big solar eclipse. I talked about that on your show, and how the solar eclipse is going to make a path right across the middle of the U.S. I'm sure you remember that. And I went back and looked at past patterns. The previous one, well, I believe it was in 1918, and the ancient astrologers were real big on the eclipses, and they talked about how that not only could you have a specific event occur during the eclipse, but it tends to have sort of a shadow, where it's kind of sitting there latent for up to 6 months. And one of the key times, by the way, is at the 90-degree or 90-day point, and also the 180-degree or 180-degree point. So we have
Norm, we have a question from someone. Can you explain that 180-degree again, please? Someone's asking the question about that.
Well, it's a simple harmonic. If you divide a circle 360 degrees by 2, you get 180. That's a key angle in astrology, and it's just a key harmonic,
Well, that's like 180 is a full moon or a new moon, right?
Exactly. You got
okay, there you go. I'm afraid old Terre Haute knows that mathematics. Go right ahead, my friend.
Yeah, you got your cipher like on the Beverly Hillbillies, right? All right, so anyway, so we had the Spanish flu back there in 1918, and 30 million people died. That was not good, Then if you go back, it really looks like it happens about every 100 years. So we had a solar eclipse across North America in 1811. And that coincided to the day, 90 days, 90 degrees. We move roughly about 1 degree a day, the Earth to the sun. And we had the big New Madrid fault, which is the largest, possibly one of the largest, if not the largest, recorded earthquake in U.S. history. It occurred near St. Louis, the little town of New Madrid. New Madrid was on the Missouri side of the Mississippi. After the earthquake, poor little New Madrid was in the Mississippi. They say that the earthquake was so big, it changed the course of the Mississippi River, and for 8 minutes reversed the flow of the river.
Not only that, but they rang the bells in Boston.
I know, that was my next line. You must have read the script, right, Larry?
Yep.
All right, there we go. So that's it. So if we were to repeat that pattern again, and obviously this is very unscientific, then we're just looking at 1 or 2 instances in the past. But if that were to happen, guess what's coming up? We got a new moon, Saturday the 18th, and 90 days past the eclipse on the 21st of August, taking it November 20th. So I guess we'll talk about it after the commercials, right?
Yeah.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Swim lessons from TD Ameritrade Think or Swim is now at 11 a.m., followed by Basil Chapman at 12 noon. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, brought to you by Nadex. Next on TFNN.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we're chatting with Norm Winsky from AstroTrend. Norm, you want to continue on?
Yes, sir. Just in case anybody missed it, going to the commercial there. Talking about my little experiment here, looking at repeat patterns in the past with this, based on the solar eclipse, and my key date coming up here for some major event, maybe around the 20th. Just an experiment, highly experimental. Just going to watch that to see if anything happens around the 20th of November. We have the new moon coming up here on the 18th. By the way, I'll be talking more about the moon toward the end of the month. We're getting in the near syzygy or supermoon season, when the moon aligns with the full moon, new moon, aligns with perigee and apogee when you get your bigger lunar influence. That's going to happen at the end of the month. We'll be getting to that in a minute, but I just wanted you to know that's getting close when you get in the middle of November here, and then we're going to be actually locked into that cycle at the end of the month. Phases in and phases out. So we have the new moon coming up on Saturday, after the Friday's close, to be exact, Saturday, the 18th. And we'll have the new moon in Scorpio. Scorpio is cocoa, hogs, and bonds. There's your bonds, Larry. So you want to pay attention to what the markets do into late Friday, into Friday, and into Monday. One trading day either side of the new moon. And whatever markets are at an extreme at that time that fall into these categories are prone to having a reversal. So that's there's an opportunity to make some money. So in general, your full moons, new moons bring changes and trends to your financials, grains, and precious metals, and specifically this new moon in Scorpio will be associated with cocoa, hogs, and bonds. We also have the U.S. Kicking in here over the weekend. And so there's a little kicker there. And then next Tuesday night, that'll be Tuesday night, the 21st, Neptune will turn direct. And, that's one of my favorite things, Larry, with the planets turn direct or retrograde. And especially powerful are the outer planets. And Neptune is the outer planet, and that is associated with oil. Excuse me, with oil. So you want to be watching your crude oil right about then. So if the market gets oil gets to an extreme around that time, then watch for reversal. Stock market dances to all these things. There's no filter on the stock market. It's the big basket of everything. So looking ahead here now, at the end of the month, we will have lots of stuff. Big cluster coming up. I tack on, I'm elastic on my months. I add on a few days, subtract to a few days, so I can start the letter on a Monday and end on a Friday. So the first is a Friday, and so that weekend is huge. Maybe perhaps let me look at my calendar real quick here, just see that's the biggest energy cluster of the entire month, So
What day was that, Norm? Repeat it again, please.
December 1 is
December
Friday.
1,
I tack
okay.
that onto November. I'm including that as part of November, and that weekend is the biggest, highest energy number of anything, for the whole month,
That's a
So that's
a whole lot of cycles coming together. Then what you're saying?
absolutely. You got
Okay.
Jupiter going to make a key 120 1/3 harmonic to Neptune. We got you're going to love fasten your seatbelt, Larry, because this is right the stuff I know you love. Because Mercury is going to turn retrograde, and we're going to have a full moon. But wait, that's not all, like they say on the infomercial. Full moon at perigee, right? So
Norm, can I ask you a question? What would be the chances of you joining us the day before?
Well, the reason I'm putting this out here is because that'll be right on my deadline. It takes me 2 weeks to crank this letter out, and that's when I'm getting really crazy. So I'll try, but if it's too crazy, then I may not make it. So I thought I'd put this up here just in case,
If you have the time, let us know. We'd love to have you on at that time as it's happening. Because we remember May 15th, May 19th of 2015 when you called the stock market top on that Mercury retrograde new moon. So if you get a chance to come on, we'd love to have you.
Okay, probably just be an impromptu quickie.
Sure.
Thing,
Doesn't have to be a whole 30 minutes. We could just maybe have it on for 10 or 15 or whatever you can spare.
Okay. I just got rid of my phone. There we go. So anyway, there we go. So we got huge stuff coming up here at the end of the month. That December 1 weekend, and we got Mercury turning retrograde, a full moon, and the moon is at perigee. That only occurs every 14 months off of the moon, and then it's going to line up on Mercury retrograde. This potentially is huge, Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, on my fractal model for both the stock market and the bonds, indicate if we get like a consolidation type month in November, we could have a huge move, some huge moves, the biggest moves the year in the month of December. Okay.
Wow. That's unusual too, isn't it? Because usually it's a sleepy month.
I guess so. You would think so with everybody in the holiday haze, right?
Hey, Norm, how is Naples? Is it recovered from everything?
Well, I guess, it's they're getting all the tree debris cleaned up and everything.
Okay, good. All right.
Maybe
Sorry.
we'll get you to come for a visit. And there's a party in January. I think some of your friends might be coming. So.
Oh, some folks from Terre Haute coming down. Anyway, I didn't want to break the time, but several people have asked how you're doing with your, with the stuff. So I just want to get that cleared. So continue on, please.
I appreciate the folks' concern. So since we did so well getting through my notes here, if you want me to tell the folks how to get the free stuff now, or
let's do that. We got a couple of minutes here, and we will, be happy to hear what you have because you have some really good things that people can learn from. So go right ahead.
They can get my letter for free, and get a free class. I do an individual class, usually 5 to 6 hours. Tell the folks all the different methodologies I've learned about over the past 5 to 6. Not 5 to 6. Try again. About 45, 50 years. Like you, Larry, started out doing this stuff young in life when I was 15. Now I'm 66 now. So that's over 50 years. I was on the floor in Chicago, did the CBOE, and not too long after they opened their doors there, bought a seat for $25,000 in early '75.
Holy cow! Wow.
Yeah. Did that. I was still in college when I did that. I was still in college, and then
there's a lot of money back then.
Yep, and I got lucky. I had to inherit a little bit of inheritance, and so I basically bet my inheritance on that I had an advantage. I was trading in college, making money in the Great Bear Market of '73, '74. I was making nice money, mostly on the long side, bucking the trend, So I was doing copper mining because my family. I grew up in the scrap business. That's my father's family did that back to my great grandpa. So I grew up hearing about copper prices going up and down, and then one day I stumbled on the Bradley book, believe it or not, right down by your house there, Larry, Honey Creek Square, in the Crockett Bertano's bookstore. Stumbled on the one copy. Good thing you didn't get there, Larry. You probably grabbed that.
No. I wouldn't have had no interest in that stuff until 1978, I think. So
this was 72. So anyway, they had one copy of the Bradley book there at the bottom of the bookshelf, down by the floor, all by itself. It was an orphaned little book. It's a little skinny book, and I picked that thing up in Terre Haute, Indiana, of all places. Yeah. And it was Donald Bradley's stock market prediction. I took that home. I've been studying the stock
How
market.
much did you pay for it? It's $4
It was
originally.
marked $1, and they marked it down. They struck out the dollar and marked it down to 10 cents. And I said,
Norm,
I think I...
stay with us. Stay with us. We got to pay the bills, and we'll be right back with Norm Winsky from AstroTrend.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
Basil Chapman has just announced a special subscriber event taking place Monday, November 20th from 5 till 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. What can you anticipate for 2018? In this 90-minute webinar for subscribers to Basil's daily trading newsletter, The Opening Call, he will be discussing a variety of topics for the coming year, including, can high techs continue to lead? Will the financials be affected by yields, and where will yields be in 2018? The chances for inflation or deflation, what stocks could be affected or weakened in the coming year, as well as Basil's long-term outlook for the dollar and gold, as well as many other topics. For all the details and to sign up for a 30-day free trial to The Opening Call, visit the front page of TFNN.com today. With nothing to risk, this is a great time to try out Basil's daily trading newsletter. Sign up today.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, with Norm Winsky of AstroTrend. Norm, you want to continue on with some of the services that you have?
All right, I just thought I'd just wrap up the story I was telling there. So I found the Bradley book. I've been studying the stock market from the time I was 15. I stumbled on astrology the year before in that same bookstore, and studying the astrology, knew that the stock market was about 80-90% psychological. Astrology, psychological, thought there should be some way to link the two together. And then I stumbled on the Bradley book, took that thing home, opened it up, and he talked about the 41-month business cycle going up and down with Jupiter and Uranus. I said, gee, I know about the 41-month business cycle. I haven't grown up in the scrap business. Copper prices go up and down with the 41-month business cycle. Went and researched that, ended up buying good old Anaconda Copper. I bet you remember that one, huh, Larry?
Oh, sure. North Terre Haute, you betcha.
Oh, yeah, the aluminum company. Well, that sometime I'll have to tell you that story. You might know some of the same stockbrokers I knew, and so forth. So I got a funny story for you when we're off the air sometime. Anyway, so I ended up buying that near the low of the copper market, and within 18 months, copper went to new all-time highs on the London Metal Exchange, $1.41. So, and my Anaconda Copper went from, I paid 17 5/8, and it went all the way to up over $29. So I had more money to play with, which led me to later on buying a seat on the CBOE.
Wow, that's really terrific, boy.
Yep. Anyway, so there we go. So I can accommodate about maximum 60 people per month. And so you need to call me or email me right away. It's on the screen there, nwinsky@embarkmail.com, or you can call me. And so we can get you in the queue there for December. I'm already all done now for November. And so, it tends to fill up pretty quick. So call me right away so we can get you in line here for the free class, 5 to 6 hours of you and me. I was going to spill my brains and share the last 40, 50 years of all my different. You're going to learn Astro, going to learn Fibonacci time cycles, fractals, and different techniques. So
hey, thanks for joining us, buddy. We really appreciate it. If you get a chance around that December 1st Mercury retrograde, you give us a buzz, okay?
Will do. Thanks a lot, Larry. Everybody have a great day.
You bet. Norm Winsky, Astro Trends, Naples, Florida.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.